Okay, let's dive right into this explainer's core idea, which is honestly a bit like modern alchemy. We're looking at how to take chaotic, messy physical construction waste and turn it into a highly profitable digital asset. Specifically, we're going deep into an operation called 95 Wood and their Digital Refinery. Basically, this system acts as a sentient bridge. It takes physical matter, turns it into structured data, and ultimately into hard cash. It's a masterclass in using edge AI to solve a massive, real-world logistical nightmare. And as you'll see, the implications go way beyond just moving wood. To really grasp why this technology is an absolute game changer, we have to look at a massive cross-border dependency that's just hiding in plain sight. Get this, a staggering 14.35% of all waste disposed of in Michigan landfills comes from one single place, Ontario, Canada. That isn't just some random trivia. It represents a deeply entrenched reliance on imported international waste. We're talking about entire logistical networks and regional waste management systems that are literally propped up by this constant, daily influx of material crossing the northern border. And to put that into perspective with raw tonnage, we are talking about 3.46 million tons of municipal solid waste, or MSW, shipped annually from Ontario directly into U.S. Michigan landfills. Now, moving 3.5 million tons of trash every single year isn't just a massive logistical headache. If you look at the year-to-date news trends, it creates an incredibly fragile choke point. The sheer volume flowing through this Ontario-Michigan waste corridor puts it under intense, constant scrutiny from environmental groups, border agencies, and policymakers on both sides. Now, that inherent fragility leaves this whole corridor entirely exposed to what we'll call geopolitical weather. Current year-to-date headlines are highlighting a perfect storm of regulatory pressures hitting this exact supply chain. We're seeing talks of Washington tariffs, the revival of Donald Trump-era trade precedents, ongoing USMCA and CUSMA disputes, plus shifting environmental priorities under Doug Ford's Ontario government. It's a really volatile web of trade and regulatory brinksmanship. I mean, one single sudden policy change could freeze millions of tons of municipal solid waste dead at the border. So the absolutely crucial question is, how do you survive that kind of unpredictable weather? Well, you can easily slap a massive tariff on a physical garbage truck, but it's remarkably hard to tariff a verified data object. And that brings us to the first critical state change, transforming physical matter into data. 95 Wood's sentient bridge actually takes a chaotic mixed pile of physical construction wood and transforms it into a highly structured queryable digital file. And it does this right there at the bin before the truck ever even hits the highway. The engine that's actually driving this physical to digital transformation is evolving incredibly fast. While the currently deployed stack relies on a Google Pixel 10 Pro with a Tensor G5 chip, the real magic is sitting right there on their next-gen roadmap. By operationalizing the upcoming Google Pixel 11 Pro with that powerhouse Tensor G6 neural processing unit running on Android 17 and using the new Light-RT AI stack with turbo quant compression, 905 Wood is just dramatically accelerating the whole thing. It essentially makes every single edge decision faster, cheaper, and infinitely more scalable across thousands of job sites. And the speed here is wild. This next-gen hardware builds a tamper-proof chain of custody in literal milliseconds. Right from the exact moment of visual capture at the bin, the offline Edge AI classifies the wood in under 500 milliseconds. And that requires absolutely zero cell signal, which is absolutely crucial for remote construction sites. Then, by the 2-second mark, the onboard Titan M2 security chip initiates a haptic hold-to-seal lock. This permanently freezes the GPS coordinates, the timestamp, and the specific AI model version, so the physical reality of the wood is locked into an immutable digital record in the blink of an eye. From there, that frozen data flows through a really strict automated 5-step pipeline. First, a request for quote, or RFQ, opens the file. This instantly leads to a certificate of origin, legally identifying the material. Then, the material is instantly verified against strict environmental limits, locking that decision metadata into a permanent compliance lineage. And the ultimate output of this entire pipeline? A heavily encrypted UI/UX PDF document. This explainable compliance document acts as a perfect digital twin of the physical load, basically handing any border agent or auditor the exact signed and verified legal numbers they need right on a silver platter. Now, diving into the legal firewall of that pipeline, we hit a very specific international trade code, HS 3825.0. By using what's legally known as the wholly obtained doctrine, the system officially reclassifies this Ontario-sorted wood. It's no longer just chaotic municipal waste. No, it's now legally recognized as a high-purity Canadian origin residual feedstock. By generating this highly specific, defensible data point, the platform legally sidesteps those massive tariffs targeting cross-border garbage. The encrypted PDF clears customs seamlessly, and the physical wood, it just follows its digital twin. But clearing customs is really only half the battle. The wood has to be undeniably clean. And here, the AI model acts as a ruthless digital bouncer, strictly trained on the heavy metal leachate limits from Ontario Regulation 347. We're talking hard, non-negotiable ceilings here. Arsenic at 2.5, lead at 5.0, and chromium at 5.0 milligrams per liter. The system just automatically identifies and rejects any contaminated CCA-treated wood directly at the gate. There's no human guessing, there's no fatigue, no favors being pulled. The machine just objectively enforces the law. Okay, so once you possess that perfectly verified digital twin, we cross into the second state change in the digital refinery, transforming data into money. This is where dematerialization really flexes its muscles. We're no longer dealing with a low-value physical liability sitting in the back of a dump truck. By abstracting the physical properties into a verified document, we now have an encrypted digital asset that is ready to be highly monetized in the global circular bioeconomy. And the financial upside of this transformation is massive. That one single explainable compliance PDF actually pays out across 3 entirely distinct balance sheets for every clean 19.15-ton mothership load. First up, it actively avoids the mixed waste circa levy, which saves over $1,000 per load right off the top. Second, it unlocks a Quark carbon dividend, booking roughly $2,600 in premium carbon credits. And third, just possessing this audit-proof documentation actively slashes unquantified environmental liability insurance premiums for the haulers. It's the exact same piece of paper, unlocking 3 massive streams of capital. To really ground these high-level AI concepts, let's think about the catastrophic downside of getting this wrong manually. If a tired human lets contaminated wood sneak into the clean stream, well, you don't just lose your premium carbon credits. You are staring down brutal environmental enforcement fines under OREG 347, ranging anywhere from $25,000 all the way up to $100,000 for a single violation. And that's on top of standard dispatch fees. So in essence, this digital PDF effectively self-insures the entire logistical fleet against sudden financial ruin. Because the financial stakes are absolutely that high, maintaining the absolute integrity of this data is paramount. And this brings us to what 9-5 Wood calls the risk ledger. In this framework, every physical failure in the yard or AI misclassification at the bin is viewed strictly as data corruption. And if your digital twin is corrupted, it instantly poisons those massive financial rewards we just discussed. Put simply, an untrue digital twin is unbankable money. The system cleanly pairs physical failure modes directly with the exact financial rewards they protect. For instance, if the AI hallucinates, you can kiss your SIL avoidance and Quark payouts goodbye. If a weathered piece of pine tricks the system into a visual fallacy, you lose your legally defensible call and expose yourself to massive insurer liability. And if you misdocument a transshipment, you're facing a devastating 40% penalty. But a simple $125 certificate of origin generated by this AI perfectly dodges that 40% hit entirely. It's a no-brainer. Now, to absolutely prevent those catastrophic data failures, 905 Wood employs an incredibly advanced safety net. When the edge AI at the bin isn't absolutely certain about a piece of wood, it kicks the decision up to the next-gen cloud model council. This council is a powerhouse trio: Gemini 3.6 Pro, Claude Opus 4.8, and the massive open-weight GPT-SS 120B. Working together through a visual fallacy guard and deep reject scoring, they provide a hard triple model consensus. This guarantees the data is pure before a single cent changes hands. When you step back and look at this entire workflow, literally from the Pixel 11 Pro edge capture in the mud all the way up to the Cloud Council verification, you realize 905 Wood's true identity. They operate under NICS 51, meaning they are an information broker, a pure data company that just happens to move wood. By building this sentient bridge, they are securing Ontario's industrial leadership in the global bioeconomy, actively replacing chaotic physical logistics with high-purity, audit-proof digital records. And that leaves us with a truly fascinating proposition. Think about everything we've unpacked in this deep dive. If a single edge AI-generated PDS has the power to literally dematerialize a cross-border trash trade war and turn literal waste into a premium carbon asset, what physical liability will edge AI transform into a digital asset next? It really completely changes how we look at the physical world around us and the hidden data inside it. Thanks for joining me today, and keep questioning the data behind the matter.